Whether you're a beginner or a more experienced Google advertiser, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up and run Google Ads for lead generation and sales in the best way possible in this video. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Blake Bauer, and I currently am the CEO at a digital advertising agency called Jet Ads, where we manage tens of millions of dollars in ad spend across Google Ads as well as Facebook ads. We have a ton of experience in how to scale ads for lead generation campaigns, small local businesses, as well as large enterprise e-commerce brands. And so we know the best practices for everything, and I'm going to show you what we've found is the best strategy to run Google Ads, how to set up the campaigns in the fastest way possible. Ultimately, the goal is to help you get results like this, where in the last 30 days, we spent $8.8K to generate $40,000 at a 4.5 ROAS. And we do this pretty routinely for clients. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, first of all, if you don't even have a Google Ads account, what you're going to do is just search for Google Ads, go here to ads.google.com. You're going to open this. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on Start Now. And usually there's a promotion available as well. So you can do something like this, where what you can do is get a $600 credit if you know you're going to spend $600, or a $1,200 credit, or even an $1,800 credit in Canadian, because I'm in Canada. But wherever region you are, you should be able to get one of these credits. So definitely sign up for one of these offers and take advantage of that. So I'm just going to select this, go ahead and claim now. And I have multiple ad accounts, but what I'm going to do is create a new Google Ads account. And what it's going to get us to do is to create our first campaign. So I'm just going to speed through all of this and the setup stuff. So you can link your Google Business Profile and your Google Merchant Center. I would recommend connecting both if you have both. And your YouTube account as well. I'm just going to connect my YouTube in this case. You can also just skip this. So I'm going to go ahead and go next. Now, next is it's going to get you right away to go ahead and connect your Google Analytics account. And this is how best to set up your Google conversion events. So super important step. Make sure you have Google Analytics already set up. If you don't, you can do this at a later step, but you're going to want to connect your Google Analytics account. So I'm going to go ahead and do this right away. And what we're going to do is we're going to import app and web metrics right away and import Google Analytics audiences as well. And so we're going to link that. Now, next, it's going to want us to create a campaign. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip this so we can get right to the dashboard and we can get started creating campaigns on our own time. So billing information. All right, so we've now created our account. I'm going to go continue. All right, so there we go. We have now created our Google Ads account and we are at the main dashboard, which you want to get to. All right, now that we have our Google Ads account, the first thing that you're going to want to do is make sure you have the proper conversion event set up in your account. This is the most important thing, whether you're running lead gen, whether you are running a e-commerce purchase conversion campaign, you're going to want to import the conversion event that you want to track and optimize for. So if you're running a call funnel, you probably want to optimize for when somebody submits a form or when they book a call with you. Or if you're running an e-commerce brand, you're going to want to optimize for the purchases and only that as the primary conversion event. So to do that, what we're going to do is go to Tools right here, and then we're going to go to Data Manager. And then again, I already connected my Google Analytics account. If you don't have a Google Analytics 4 account, you're going to want to create one because this is what we're going to use to import our conversion events and to set up the tracking. So again, if I go manage this link right here, currently what I'm going to do is just do this drop down right here. And so I do want to import my Google Ads audiences. And this is huge. You want to make sure that import app and web metrics is turned on. This is where we're importing in those conversion events from Google Analytics, and this is the best way to set up your conversion event. So below this, you can see other Google Analytics properties that you have access to, and you can link those. If you don't see it here, you need to create one, then go ahead and do that. Now, next, what we're going to do right here is go to Goals, and then we're going to go to Conversions, and then we're going to go to Summary, and this is actually where we're going to be importing our conversion events. Now, you can see right now I have YouTube channel subscribers as a primary event. What I want to do is just go ahead right away and just change this to a secondary. We don't want to be optimizing for this. And you're going to notice Google Ads wants to turn these to primary right away, which means it's actually a bidding optimization strategy. So it might try to get you more YouTube subscribers, even though you're not optimizing and you don't really want that. So I'm going to make this secondary so we can see if we're generating YouTube subscribers, but Google's not going to optimize for it. So we turn that to secondary. Now, how we go ahead and import our conversion events is we're going to want to click on Create Conversion Action. We're going to click on Import right here, and this allows us to use Google Analytics. And then what we're going to do is select Google Analytics 4 properties. We're going to select Web. We're going to go Continue right here. And then you can see I have the following metrics that I can import. So for us at Jet Ads, we have the conversion event from Calendly, which is a book meeting, which for lead gen, this is what we want to optimize for. We have the invitee meeting scheduled event. That's what we want to import. That's what we want to optimize for. If you're a Shopify brand, then you want to optimize for purchase and you want to import in that event. So I'm going to import both right here. Now, if you don't already have Google Analytics connected to your store or to your web page, what you're going to want to do is use the partner integration to easily add Google Analytics to track everything on your website. So if you use any popular platform like Shopify or WooCommerce or Wix or whatever, what you can do is go to the App Store. So in this case, I'm on the Shopify App Store, and download the Google and YouTube app. And you're going to want to install that, go through the setup process, and that's going to get you to connect your ad account as well as connect your Google Analytics property directly to your Shopify store. Now, the same thing applies to your lead generation software. So in this case, Calendly has integrations for the following things, right? And what you can do is you can actually see Google Analytics is one of the integrations that Calendly has. So you're going to want to open up that lead generation software and add in your Google Analytics for property to Calendly so that it tracks all of those events that fire through Calendly. Now, if you're using a natively built lead generation form inside of your website and you want to track leads that way, maybe somebody submits a form and then they land on a separate page, then you're going to want to use Google's native conversion events in Google Ads and set up your conversion event for a specific web page to fire the event for lead generation when they visit that page. But otherwise, most softwares have these native integrations, and that's what you're going to want to use. So once you've set that up, now going back into Google Analytics right here, if we go over to admin and then we go to our events right here, what we can see is we now have all of our recent events right here. And if you've added in the Google Analytics conversion tag to your Shopify store, you're going to see the following events show up: add to cart, begin checkout, you're going to see page view, and you're going to see purchase, which should by default be checked as a key event. Okay, and that's the key, is you need to add these as key events in order to import them into Google Ads. And so once you've checked those off as key events, then they're going to show up right here. And then you will be able to import those events into your Google Ads. And again, you can add in add to cart, begin checkout, page view. You can add those in as secondary events to kind of track and see how many of those events and actions you're getting. But the only one that you want to have primary and the most important is the final event that you actually want, which is purchase or your lead gen submission. So that's how to get those events showing up for you. Now, going back into Google Ads, what you can see right here is that we have our purchase event as a primary and we have our inviting meeting scheduled. For now, I'm just going to leave both of these as primary. Again, you would just want to have the one event that you are currently using as your primary, and your tracking is then at that point set up. You're good to go. You can now move on to actually running Google Ads. Now, when it comes to Google Ads campaigns, you have the following campaign types that you can leverage. And this is how we like to structure our Google Ad campaigns. So I'm just going to skip that. And it's going to ask us, what's our campaign objective? So again, if you are operating and have an e-commerce brand and you're looking to generate sales, select sales. If you're looking to get leads, select leads. In this case, as an example, I'm going to operate to set this up for an e-commerce brand. So I'm going to select sales, but the same principles apply. So I'm going to go ahead and select sales. You can see I have the purchase event, which might not be active for you if you have a brand new account, but you're going to want to make sure that you have that event set up and you should be good to go. Now, once we go continue, it's going to show us the campaign types that we can use. We have Performance Max, we have search, we have demand gen, we have display, and we have shopping. Now, quickly, if you're looking to generate leads, you're a local business and you're looking to generate leads, I recommend only running a search campaign, as that's going to be getting you the best results. However, if you are an e-commerce brand, then you're going to be wanting to use a combination of search campaigns and Performance Max, and you can virtually ignore shopping, display, demand gen, and video. Demand gen is essentially swallowing up video and possibly display as well. And shopping is really already included in Performance Max. And so Google's honestly restructuring right now all of the features within Google Ads into certain packs, where search, Performance Max, and you're going to have your demand gen are really going to be the only campaign types available very, very soon. And so for this structure, unless you have some really good sharp video ads and a good YouTube presence, you don't really need to worry about demand gen. That's mostly for video. Search and Performance Max are going to be your bread and butter, and Performance Max gives you the entire inventory of Google. And so I'm going to show you exactly how to set up your search campaign and then your Performance Max campaign, especially if you're an e-commerce brand, you want to figure out and master Performance Max. Now, before we set up our first search campaign, here's an overview of how campaigns are structured in Google Ads. So you have your campaign level, which we're going to set up. That essentially controls your budget and your objective and what campaign type you're going to be running. And then you have your ad group, which is what controls your targeting, as far as keyword targeting goes, or if you're using Performance Max, what type of interests and demographics you're looking to target. And then you're going to have your ad level, which is where you set up your actual ad, whether it's a search ad, whether it's a Performance Max. There's different formats for that, but you're going to have your ads contained within your ad groups. Now, you can have multiple ad groups like this, but you honestly don't need that. You can just go one campaign, one ad group, and one ad. It all starts with proper research, especially for search campaigns. You need to do your keyword research to understand what keywords to go after to maximize the effectiveness of your campaign. Now, an example brand that I'm going to use to set up the search campaign and my performance max is going to be Callout, which is a mood boosting beer without alcohol. So they have a really unique, specific angle that they're going after, which is non-alcoholic beer drinkers and that functional benefits of the drinks that they're having. So a more calming effect, a good flavor, things like that. So what you can do with this is you can go ahead and grab your website URL to start your keyword research, and you can input that. Google's going to automatically crawl your website and give you some feedback about some keywords that you can target related to your brand. So going back to here to our campaigns, before we're actually creating our new campaign, we're going to go to tools right here. We're going to go to planning, and then we're going to go to keyword planner right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go discover new keywords right here. We're going to enter in, start with a website right here. And we're going to go ahead and enter in our website URL. We're going to change our country to the United States if that's what we're targeting in this case. I'm going to go save. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the entire site right here, and we're going to go get results. And this is going to give us a ton of different keyword ideas that we can target related to our business. So as you can see, there's 443 different keywords, all optimized for exactly what our website speaks about, which is beer without alcohol, alcohol-free beer. Again, all different keywords related to that. Gives us the exact average monthly searches for that and an idea of our top bid, and what we can expect as far as cost per clicks go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this out here. I'm going to go to 100, and I'm going to add in all the keywords that I think are relevant to give me an idea of a forecast of what I can expect if I was to bid on these keywords. So these are the keywords that I've selected right here. I have 10 total. What I'm going to do is go ahead and select broad match, and I'm going to add these keywords to a plan. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on forecast. I'm going to add in the United States again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this drop down right here. And what it's doing right here is it's giving us a good idea of the keywords that we've selected, what we can expect as far as conversion rate and revenue goes, given our business's economics. So you can change these numbers around right here. So right now it has 2.18%. So if that is your website conversion rate, you can go ahead and add that in, or you can just forecast this. So if you expect your conversion rate to be maybe 1.5, on the more conservative end, and let's see what their price range is. So they have this 24 pack for 50 pounds, and that's a subscription. So let's just say our average order value is going to be $80, but they're a subscription, so they can definitely afford to break even on the acquisition cost. So in this case, if we have a 1.5% conversion rate and an $80 average order value with a $30 a day Canadian budget, what we can expect is an average cost per acquisition of $73. We can expect about 824 clicks. Our click-through rate is 1.4%. Our cost per click is $1.09, and that would get us about 20,000 impressions. Our ROAS would be about 1.1. So as you can see, we'd ideally want our conversion rate to be a bit higher, or maybe our average order value to bump up these numbers. But again, because this is a subscription business, they're probably not too worried about a really strong, profitable front-end ROAS. They're happy to acquire customers at potentially a loss. So we can even scale this up further and see if we wanted to spend, let's say $100 per day, how that impacts our numbers right here. So you can see our ROAS really drops off because there's not enough keyword volume right here. And our CPA goes up quite a bit, but we're getting 18 more conversions now. If I increase our conversion rate a little bit, let's say this is now 2%. Let's see what we're looking like. So we have a CPA now of 130, 24 conversions. We have about 2K in total conversion value at a 0.63 ROAS. And this gives us a good idea of what we can kind of expect going in as far as cost per clicks go and getting started. And usually these estimates are honestly a little worse than what you can actually expect when you do start to run ads. And so I would probably expect even better results than this so far. But as you can see, there's not a ton of scale with this because ultimately there's not a ton of search volume for these particular keywords. So we definitely want to consider going broad with our keyword targeting. So adding those keywords in as broad match and potentially expanding out to additional keywords that are less related, just to get more volume in there overall. But with this research, what we can do now is we can actually go ahead and create our campaign. So we can go ahead and select create campaign. And so I'm going to name this campaign right here, Collider Search Alcohol-Free Beer, and just an identifier at the end there. Go ahead and click on save. So we've gone ahead now and created our campaign based on those keywords that we've actually added in. And we can now go ahead and create our ads. So again, we have all of those keywords that we just added in. What we can do is now go ahead and add in our final URL. So I'm going to send these people to the home page. Usually it's a good place to send people initially if that's kind of operates like a funnel, kind of has the best interest. If your brand does have a lot of products, then what you'd want to do is create separate search campaigns for each product category and send them directly to that product page so that everything is structured better, it's funneled better. But if you only have one product or a very simple funnel kind of web page, can send them right to the homepage, and that'll operate to kind of educate your audience before moving them to the product page. So in this case, I'm going to send them directly to the final URL. And then what you can do now is you can generate assets. So Google will automatically generate you assets for your products, automatically going to generate you a description, and it will generate you all of the headlines that you need, all of the descriptions, and the site links as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click generate assets. All right, so I think it didn't want to do it because of the nature of the product, because it's alcohol. So what you can also do is just go view ideas right here, and it's going to give you an idea of headlines that you can use right away that you can go ahead and add in. So best practices when creating your headlines is you want to make your headlines match the keywords that you're actually bidding on. Now, a little pro tip that you can use, and I always recommend adding this as your first headline in a cold search campaign for cold keywords, is to go ahead and add in a curly bracket right here. And it's going to allow you now to do keyword insertion or a countdown, so a timer that counts down to an event, if that's relevant. You can also do location insertion. This is especially good for lead generation campaigns when you want to call it a specific city. So I'm going to do keyword insertion right here, and this essentially inserts the keyword that triggers your ad. So it matches exactly what the person is searching, making your ad the most relevant and giving you the highest click-through rate. So I'm going to go keyword insertion right here. So it's going to automatically update your ads with the keyword that caused your ads to show. If it doesn't have the actual keyword that they have, or it's too long, then you will default to a specific text. So as you can see, default is the text that Google Ads will insert into your ad in the case that it can't add the keyword. Right? So what you want to add here is what I usually recommend is just add in something that speaks to your brand. So in this case, if I just go back, call there says mood boosting beer without the alcohol. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'll go back and I'm just going to paste that in. Go title case, apply. So it's a bit too long, so we need to edit this. So alcohol-free mood boosting beer. Let's see if that works. So we're actually one character over, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is just do call-liter alcohol-free beer. I'm going to go apply, and boom. So we now have our first one, which is going to be the best headline to run because Google can automatically adjust the headline to match the keyword. Now next, we're just going to go view ideas right here. We're going to add in some of these. So non-alcoholic beer is good, mood boosting beer. I'm going to say beer without the alcohol. Let's add that in for now. Then we can look at some of these other ones. I don't love some of these other ones, but what you want to do is just really fill out all 15 of these headlines right here, match to the keywords, and Google will give you a strength score. And ideally, you're looking to get excellent on that. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out this ad completely so you can see what that looks like. All right, now, as you can see, I've gone ahead and added in 15 different headlines right here and 4 different descriptions, all from the website right here. And now my ad score is excellent, because all of my headlines match up well with the keywords I'm targeting, as well as the descriptions. We're good to go here. Something else that you can add in right here is just go ahead and say into this display path, is you can definitely add in something like this. So it'd be alcohol-free/beer. So just another way to kind of promote that further for all of your keywords so everybody knows. Just a great way to add that in. And then what you can do is go ahead and add in your business name and logos as well. So in order to get access to that, you will need to go ahead and validate your business. So completing advertiser verification under your billing settings. So you want to go ahead and start that right away. Takes a couple days to review that, but that's going to allow you to run ads without any problems, and you're going to need to do that right away anyways. So make sure you go ahead and complete that. So once you do complete that, you'll be able to add in your business name. So instead of having your website URL, it'll just say your business name, and then it will also show your logo here instead of this globe icon, which also looks better. So make sure to go ahead and complete those 2 things. So another thing that you can add in as well is site links right here. I'm going to show you how to add in all of the extensions later on. So you can add in all of them at the account level, so they'll apply them to all of your campaigns. The simplest and best way to do this, so you don't have to actually worry about creating this every single time. You can just do this once, and that's the best practice for that. Otherwise, we are good to go. We can go ahead and save this ad. And again, it's pretty much ready to run on our first variation. So if we go back to the main site now, what we can see right here is if we go down to this drop down right here under overview, you can now see we have our one campaign right here, which I've just paused, but that will now be active and start running, assuming you've added in your billing information, everything like that. So within this campaign, let's say you have multiple products that you want to go ahead and target. What you can do is have your single campaign right here, and you can just create multiple ad groups, and within those have different ads for your different product types where you want to target new keywords. So to do that, go to the campaign right here. Then what you can do is go to your actual ad group right here. So if I go to ad group on the left right here, what I can do is I can rename this ad group. So I'm going to rename this, non-alcoholic beer. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. So I now have this one ad group, which is non-alcoholic beer. What I can do is select this, go ahead and go edit, go copy, and then I can go paste. And what this is going to do is effectively duplicate my ad group From there, I can go ahead and update my actual keywords, and I can update my ad. I'm gonna go ahead and paste this. So as you can see, I've now duplicated this ad group twice. I have non-alcoholic 2, non-alcoholic 3. What you would do is just go ahead and rename this to whatever. So maybe we have a non-alcoholic, seltzer. So we can go ahead and save that. And that could be another ad group. And then we could have another ad group right here for another product that we may have. And again, if you have a lead generation campaign, maybe you want to try different keywords. So you could try a specific type of service that you have for one ad group, another service for another ad group, and another service for another ad group. And Google will automatically optimize your budget based on what's getting you the best cost per lead. Now, if certain leads are more valuable than others, then you may want to do this exact same thing, but just duplicate the entire campaign, create a separate campaign so you can control the budgets, because you can't actually control the budgets going into each ad group. But if you don't really care and all conversions are quite similar, then what you can do is just create these different ad groups for different keywords and go ahead and have one campaign for all, just to keep it more organized. So if I wanted to go ahead and do this for this campaign right here, what I could do to change these keywords right here, I could easily go in, I could just remove all of these keywords. And then what I could do is go add right here. And then I could go, non-alcoholic seltzer. And I could go search this as well here, and it'll give me a bunch of keyword ideas that I could add in. So non-alcoholic seltzer, which we already had in there, but non-alcoholic seltzer drinks, alcohol-free seltzer, best non-alcoholic seltzer, zero alcohol seltzer, right, etc. We could add in a bunch of these right here, and we are good to go. So we could save this. Now we have a bunch of different keywords right here. Go ahead and go save. We're now good to go. And then what we could do is go down to the ad level, and we could go ahead and edit this ad. And again, what we could do right here is you can see the ad strength is now poor because our headlines and our description isn't matching up with the keywords that we're actually targeting. As you can see, popular keywords in your headline. And so if we just adjust these to say seltzer instead of beer, then we're going to get an excellent score, and this ad is going to be also good to go. And so just make those changes, and that's how you create a separate ad group for another search campaign. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is go ahead and set up your site link extensions, which if you search something like Gymshark right here, and you go to one of their search ads, you can see that the site link extensions are these little things just below the ad, and these are going to link to different parts of your website. So what you want to do is go ahead and go back to the overview of your campaigns right here, go to assets and open this up right here. And what you're going to have is the option to set up your business name and business logo, your site links, headline descriptions, callouts, and all this other stuff. The main things that you're going to want to set up for every account is your site links and your callout extensions. And these are very quick to set up and improve the overall quality of your ad, and your overall Google is going to prioritize your ads more because you included these assets and you take up more inventory. So first of all, go to the plus right here. And if you do have advertiser verification complete, this is where you can also add in your business name and business logo. It makes your ads look better as well. But we're going to go ahead and add in our site links right here. So we're going to click on site links. And what this does is when we go ahead and go to accounts, we're going to want to add this to the account level. So this is going to show our site link under our search ads, again, just like I showed you right there, across all of our ads. So we only have to create this one time, and this is going to show up in all of our ads. So when we're creating this, what we're going to do is go ahead and go create new. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our website. We're going to find different web pages that make sense to use for our business. So if we scroll down here, they have this Discover How It Works page. And so that's going to be one that I'm going to use. So I'm going to name the title of this Discover How It Works. I'm going to go back here, open up this page. I'm going to go ahead and grab this URL. So you can see this is a separate page that gives a bit more information if they're curious on how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in. And I'm going to go discover how our collider non-alcohol beer works. So simple as that. That's our first site link. You can see what that looks like. It's usually not going to show the description. It's just going to show the headline. And so that's how it would look in an ad. So people can click on this link to go directly to that page, or they can click on the overall headline, and that'll bring them right to the website URL that you've set up in your actual ad settings. So as another example, we could do also, for example, the Shop Now page. So we can send them right to the product page as well. Definitely recommend adding this in as well. So I'm going to add in this website URL, and I'm going to go Shop Now. And then I'm just going to add in some basic descriptions right here. The bundle builder. So shop the bundle builder. And then we're going to go ahead and say just this. Great tasting non-alcoholic beer. That's all we can really fit there because we have 35 characters. So we're going to go ahead and add this in. You can see we have these two site links now. You'd want to fill up about 4 to about 6 site link extensions, and Google will test those different ones to see which perform the best. And then again, they're at the account level, so you never have to worry about these again. They're set up. They go to the other parts of your website. It makes your ads look a lot better. And again, Google's going to prioritize your ads more. So once you set those up, click on save, and we now have our site link extensions here as well. And the other thing that we want to set up is our callout extensions, which are super simple to set up. So go back to there, go to callout, and we're going to set these up at the account level as well. So all we're going to do right here is just call out a couple different things. So for example, we want people to shop now, so we're going to call that out. We have a discount extra 10% off, so we're going to say get 10% off today, as well as another call out. Now, I don't know if they have free shipping, but I'm just going to put free shipping. If you do have free shipping, then it's definitely a benefit. We want to go ahead and add that in. I'm going to say build your bundle. And what we can also say is like, 5 stars. And I'll just add in like learn more as well. And so you can see what these call outs are going to look like. It says shop now, get 10% off today, free shipping, build your bundle, 5 stars, learn more. It's not going to show all of them at once, but we can add in those different ones and Google will find the best ones for our brand. So that's pretty standard practice. Go ahead and click on save. And we now have added in our site links and our call out extensions to make our ads that little bit better on all our search ads. Now let's go back here. The next campaign that's a staple to run is a branded search campaign. So we're going to go ahead and set that up really quick here as well. So go to new campaign. We're going to go to sales again. We're going to go continue. We're going to select search. We're going to go website visits right here. We're going to add in our website URL. And then we're going to name this campaign brand name, branded search. And then we're going to say that. Now for this campaign, similar to what we want to do for our actual search campaigns, we didn't go through these steps, so I'll go through these quickly with you, but we want to focus on conversions always. You don't need to do conversion value right now. Even if you're an e-commerce brand, I recommend just starting with conversions to maximize the total number of conversions, and then you can switch to conversion value later. We're going to go new customer acquisition. We're just going to leave all this on. We're going to go next. We're going to turn off Google Display Network, and we're going to leave Google Search Partners turned on. As you can see, it includes YouTube and other Google sites. So recommend adding this. It doesn't hurt. Then we're going to go ahead and add the United States in as well for our country. We're going to go presence, people in and regularly in our locations. We're going to have our languages turned on. All of this turned on. We're going to have broad turned off. We're not going to do any audience segments because our keywords automatically do that. And we're going to leave all of these settings here as well. We're going to go down to the keyword level now. I'm going to skip this because we're just doing a branded search campaign. So all that we're going to do, the only keyword that we're going to be targeting is just Callout beer. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And then I'm going to name this Callout beer. So we're going to put a couple different ones here because Callout is another brand. So we're going to go Callout, drink Callout. We're going to go Callout drink. And that should be good as far as branded searches go. This should cover pretty much everything because these are broad search as well. That should get all of the keywords in for our actual brand. Now, pretty simple for this. What we want to do is do our actual brand name right here. I usually like to do like a trademark or a registered symbol there as well. And then we can pin this to number 1. So it has our brand name first like this. And then we can just have our various keywords, which you can see it already has the headlines there as well. It's going to say your ad strength is poor, but that's totally fine. Again, this is branded search. You would expect your click-through rate on this to be closer to like 30%, and you to get all the impression share on this because we just want to dominate this keyword. And then we have all the descriptions and stuff already set up. You can see we already have the account level site link set up, so we don't need to do anything there. And we are good to go to turn this ad on to target branded keywords. So we can go next right here. Then we're going to set our daily budget right here. So it's going to recommend something. For branded search, you don't need to spend very much at all. You can spend $5 a day, $10 a day. If you have a larger brand, maybe you want to spend 20, 30 or more. Depends on your brand name and how many searches you get. So this brand probably gets a decent amount of searches, so they might want to spend a bit more just to maximize and capture all of that traffic, make sure no competitors are bidding on this stuff. But for us, let's just say we're going to spend $10 per day, and that's a good starting point. If you don't have a lot of branded searches, it's not even going to spend that, so don't worry about it. Just set a reasonable small budget there, and you should be good and covered. So we're going to go ahead and publish this as well, and now we have our search campaign and our branded search campaign, and those are the two staple campaigns that you're always going to want to have built out. And the last campaign that we want to go ahead and set up is a Performance Max campaign. This is staple across all of our e-commerce brands. If you're a lead generation campaign, then only worry about those search campaigns. You don't need to worry about anything else. If you're e-commerce, then you're going to want to set up this Performance Max campaign. This is going to be the main driver of results for you. So to set this up, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Tools right here. We're going to go to Data Manager. And what we're going to make sure we have connected is our Google Merchant Center account. Now, again, if you use a partner website like Shopify, when you download and install this Google and YouTube app, it's going to prompt you to create a Merchant Center account or connect your existing Merchant Center account. And that's essentially going to upload all of your products and create your product feed to run shopping ads. So again, like Gymshark right here, you can see how they have these sponsored ads right here that actually show their products. these are shopping ads, and you want to leverage this because Performance Max is going to run ads like this, as well as search ads, as well as display ads and video. So you want to make sure that you have your merchant center set up, and it will automatically create you one if you don't already have one inside of the setup when you use this partner integration. So we're going to link through the Google Merchant Center. So I'm going to go ahead and connect our Merchant Center accounts. I'm going to go ahead and review and submit this. And we now have our Google Merchant Center account connected. So we can go ahead and set up our Performance Max campaign. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to go new campaign right here. We're going to select sales. We're going to go continue. And we're going to select Performance Max. I don't know why my screen's bugging out here, but ignore that. And we're going to select our actual Merchant Center account right here. Now, I have no products currently in this, but don't worry about that. You will have products, obviously, when you connect yours. So our name is Callout, PMax, USA. So now what we're going to do for this is we are going to focus on maximizing conversion value for this campaign, because if you have multiple products, you do want to maximize the conversion value ultimately and optimize for higher revenue, higher valuable customers that are going to spend more with you. If you don't, though, if you only have one conversion and one price, then you're going to want to maximize for conversions. But this is a good place and good campaign to optimize for conversion value, and it's going to recommend that. All these other settings you can leave. We're going to go next. Again, we're going to target the United States. Language is English. All this other stuff is fine. What I'd recommend is turning off this asset optimization right here. So it's going to customize the final URL expansion and send this to potentially different URLs. So I recommend turning this off so it doesn't send URLs and people to different web pages that aren't really relevant for you. And then you also have video enhancement right here. So as you can see, it'll turn horizontal videos into vertical videos right here and crop it for you. And it'll also like shorten videos down for you into different clips. So you can leave this on. This is probably fine. But if you have videos that you've kind of custom made for each of these placements, then you might not want to turn this on. But that's usually fine to leave on. All these other settings you can go ahead and leave on. We're good to go next. Now we're going to go ahead and enter in our website URL again. So again, it's pulling in our assets automatically. So you can feel free to use this, or you can skip this step, but it doesn't hurt to generate these assets for you to just speed up that process a little bit more. So from here, what we're going to be doing is creating our first asset group. And I'm going to name this after the main keyword that we're going after. So again, if I'm going after non-alcoholic beer, I'm going to name this after that. And then I'm going to have all my products listed right there. Enter in our business name. We can go ahead and add in our logos right here. So it's not always perfect at grabbing your logos right here. So anyways, we'll just say that's fine for now. So we have all of our headlines that's already created right here. You'd want to go through this and make sure that this lines up and matches up to your business. But you can see we do have our site links there and our callouts, enhancing our ad even further. And then we have our headline. This is what it would look like on search. Then we also have YouTube. So we need to add in some images right here. So if I select all these different images right here, these are actually really good that it pulled out from us. Boom. So we now filled up all the images right there. So now we can see what these ads actually look like. So that's not a great one. So maybe I want to deselect this actually. Maybe we want to do something more like this one as well. Also, we have this logo right here. And so these are what our ads are going to look like. You can kind of see these do look very nice across YouTube. And then we also have Discover as well. So this is an example of what these ads are going to look like for us across all of Google's network. And we can also add in some videos right here. So what we can do is search for Callout. So we don't actually have a YouTube, which is fine. If you do a video, you can upload those there. If you don't worry about it, it's fine. Then our call to action, what we're going to do is we're going to do shop now. Everything else we can go ahead and leave. Now what we have is our signals. So this is where we're doing our actual targeting right here. So the same keywords that we had before, we want to go ahead and add those in. Okay, so we've added in some search terms. And then what we can also do is add in some first party data right here. So we can go ahead and add in our website visitors that we've integrated and linked from Google Analytics. So I'm going to go website visitors 90 days. And then we can also add in some additional interests and signals here as well. We search for alcohol. So I'm going to search for drink right here and see if I can find anything that is relevant for us that we can go ahead and target. So maybe one affinity we could do is health and fitness buffs. That might be relevant because this product is kind of a healthy product and a healthy alternative to alcohol. So we could test that out as an interest as well. And so one affinity is fine for now. What we're going to do is we're going to name this audience Warm Plus Health and Fitness Buffs. And we're pretty much good to go here on running our first Performance Max campaign. Again, you'd have your Merchant Center connected, so you would also see Google Shopping right here listed as well with your product. But this is a really good starting point, and you can see set to get a lot more conversions than our search campaign. We have a lot more budget here, and we can spend a lot more and expect more results. We're not as limited by the search inventory for those actual keywords that we targeted. But we do want to have those set up because those are most warm and likely to buy customers. where this is generating more new customers that might not be as interested and are discovering this product for the first time. So it's going to recommend us a budget right here. Feel free to just set this to whatever you're comfortable with. This is $100, it's $100. And from there, we can go ahead and click on next, and we can go ahead and publish this campaign. And that is how to run Google Ads A to Z as a beginner. Those are the most important campaigns that you need to set up. And that's exactly how we set up campaigns for all of our new clients. Now, I know you probably have a lot more questions around how to properly optimize these campaigns, how to build additional campaigns and ad groups and ads, and how to know what's working and what's not and measure the results and ultimately scale up further. And I have a lot more videos on the channel around Google Ads and more advanced strategies. So subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and leave me a comment letting me know what was your biggest takeaway from the video. So I'll give you a second right now to go ahead and do those couple things. And once you've gone ahead and done that, I recommend checking out this video next. I think it's really going to help you out on your ads journey. And until next time, this is Blake Scales Ads.